What's up, people? Today I'm going to be replacing the screen on an iPhone 6s Plus. Got the screen here, or I've got the phone here. I've got it turned off. Make sure you always turn off the phone. And I've got the replacement screen. Gonna get my handy dandy pentalobe screwdriver out. Take out these two bottom screws. One and a two. I have my own method for opening this. So usually what I do is I'll take a screwdriver or a flathead little small screwdriver and at least get it in there, get it started. Sometimes I'll see this one's coming up. And then once I have that, I'm going to take the guitar pick and slide it. Some people use heat guns, which isn't a bad idea. I've just gotten used to doing it without a heat gun because there's adhesive around this. I want to turn the camera a little bit so you can see a little better. Okay. So as you bring this up, there's gonna be a couple clips that hold the top up. Just make sure you kind of slide it out a little bit and then up. And then you're gonna take off this plate, which is 5 screws. There's one. And you just take off this plate, like so. Make sure the device is off, double check. And you can unplug the cables, which snap down. So this is gonna be your first cable here. I just get underneath it and kind of twist up just gently. If it's not coming, try not to get frustrated. There's one. There's going to be 3 of these. Two. And 3. And then remember there's adhesive at the top, so just unstick it. There's that old one. So I'm just going to replace that top adhesive, so I'm going to throw this away. And then we can put this one on to test it. So you don't need to plug in the home button one. I just do it anyways. There's one. Okay. Touch ID is not going to work because we don't have the home button in. So best way to test this is, oh, can't see that, it's people's information. Hold this until it starts shaking, and then you can move it around. So you can move it all around the screen. But it looks like everything's touching well and working good. You can turn on, turn off a couple times, on, off. Make sure it just continues to do that. So this one looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and start transferring over the rest of the stuff from this screen to this one. Wait for that to fully shut down. And you can unplug it. Okay, there's that. So now we can move this out of the way. We're going to start by just removing this top earpiece. There's 3 screws here. This one, The one that I'm going to try to do this so you guys can see. This one on the far left is 1, 2, and 3. This one right there. And then once those are removed, you can take off this plate. And then there's another screw right here. It's sideways, as opposed to screwing in like that. It's sideways. So just want to unscrew this one here. That one, and then there's going to be 3 on this side and 3 on this side, which we will do next. And then there's 2 screws on the bottom here for the home button. One right there and one right there. And then you should be able to take off this back plate now. What I do is I just kind of lift up right there, and this whole thing comes up. And then just always do it gently too, just in case it gets stuck on something. This home button plugs in right here. So what you're going to do is fold it over this way. Like so. Okay, and then this is held on by adhesive, and this is held down by adhesive. So what I do is go kind of push up on the home button, kind of scoop underneath, and then just gently remove it, unstick it. Once you get to there, I'm going to go over here and then scoop under this thing and undo it. Oh, 1 sec. Sorry about that. I was a customer for my other business. So I'm going to be taking off this next now. This just lifts up like so, folds over, and then you're going to take this earpiece out. You just kind of use a magnetic tool. That just takes it out. And then this is held in there's like 2 housings right here, where I lift up usually right here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I lift up right there and just kind of wiggle it loose first. Don't go aggressively. I've had though where they get stuck and break, regardless of how careful you are. Sometimes it just happens. Okay, there, I felt it unstick now. Okay, so once you get that out of the housing like that, see that? Then you're going to unstick it from right here, this little microphone. So you're going to go underneath it and kind of scoop it. You got to be really careful here. This takes a little bit of getting used to, a little practice in order to do this. Okay, there we go. And then that comes off like so. Try not to touch the camera because that's the lens and you don't want to get any fingerprints on it. But that's that. And then what I do, some people don't do this, but I take out the little plastic brackets. They're just held on by some glue. So there's that one. I'm going to re-glue them onto the new one. So this one is good. Got everything off of it. With this one, first thing I'm going to do is glue those little plastic brackets back on where the front-facing camera is and where the proximity sensor is. So I'm going to glue a bracket right there and then a bracket right here. And how I do it is I get my tweezers. I'm going to get you. And then get some super glue. Oh, this one's seen better days. It's about time to get another one. And then, it's kind of hard to show you on camera, but this bigger side goes on the left side of the screen. I'm going to hold it this way because I'm putting glue on the back of this, and then I'm going to turn it around and glue it on like that. This part takes a little finesse too. So this one's going to go like this. You can see the flat part. Well, maybe you can't. There's a flat part. It's going to go like that. I'm going to stick it down like that. So I need to put some glue on this side of it. Alright, so now I'm going to put on the back plate. This requires you to take off this little sticky tab. A lot of people forget these sometimes, but don't forget to take this off. Throw that away. Say, get out of here, we don't need you. And then this goes back on like this. Make sure that this part, this top part on this back plate goes inside of this little prong thing sticking up. And actually, let's put that screw in first. Then I'm going to show you guys a little something that I have learned, is that I've laid out all my screws in order. I know that that screw goes to that hole, that screw goes to that hole, and this one goes to that hole. I have my 3 on this side, my 3 on that side, and then my 2, my home button. So as I take them out, I put them in the order that I see them according to looking at the back of it. So that's just a little tip. And then this thing doesn't come with any adhesive on the back of it. It's supposed to be stuck down right there. That's where the home button plugs in, is this little connector. So I'm gonna get a little piece of tape, adhesive. Like that. There's a little ridge right there. That goes on the inside of that ridge. Stick it down there. And then if this home button is sticky enough, we'll just stick it back. Yeah, there's still some adhesive around this, so it's going to stick. Usually what I'll have to do is, sometimes it gets dirty and there's no adhesive left, I'll just put a little bit of super glue on each side and stick it down that way. So we just put that back in, make sure that's in the hole. And then there's 2 little holes on this that you need to match up. And then stick that down. See the 2 little prongs sticking up? One right there and one right there. Make sure that they're in that before you stick it down. And then this just folds over and plugs in. You have to kind of feel it. So don't push it. And if it's not going, don't push hard. I can kind of feel it before it snaps. So I know if I push now, it's going to snap in. Did you hear it? Hopefully you did. So there's that, and we'll get the home button bracket on. And what I do is make sure the home button clicks. Good to go. Okay, so now we go to the little more trickier part. And there is a little bit of adhesive. You remember where we popped up that microphone right there? There's a little tab. But there's usually a plastic like that little red plastic thing that we peeled up before we put on the back plate. It's like that. So this one's already off. It's already sticky because I just felt it. And then you're going to, you see that little hole in the microphone? You're going to line that up with, there's a prong right there. And you're going to line it up on that prong, just like when I showed you the 2 prongs on the home button. Get down, prongs on, and then this part of the front camera deal gets pushed into the brackets carefully till they sit down like that. Okay, so those are in. And then the earpiece, there's a little tab. See that tab right there? That goes into the groove right here of the earpiece. Sometimes it doesn't go in very well. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold it over like that, and then make sure the two prongs on the back of this earpiece are exposed. And then there's two little holes right there and right there that go over the prongs that I just talked about. Okay, and then once that's through, I like to do the middle one first. And do the other screw on the left side, and then the very last screw. So there's two little prongs right here, 1 and 2, that need to match up. I can feel them with my fingernail, they're poking through, so that means that everything's lined up in there. So that's the final piece. We're good to put it back on the phone. And then this bottom adhesive, I can just reuse, just reline it up. All the adhesive on each side are still good. So we just have to replace the adhesive on the top that I took off. And if you want to be anal about it, you can get the little sides right here too. Right there and right there. Okay, now we can put it back together. So,
like so. There's going to be 3 connections. The far one on the right is going to be for the home button. There's that. You can kind of move it around until it doesn't move loosely, and then when you know it doesn't move, it's in its slot, so then you can press down. So, I can tell that's
in the slot just by feeling it, and then I can push. Oh. There we go. That one didn't click as much. Alright, so there's that. 1, 2, and 3. Now, before we fully put it back together, we can test it one more time. Make sure you do that 4 times for luck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Throw that over there. Pop that on. Okay. Let's give it the final test. Where I'm going to go ahead and shut this down one more time, and then put on that plate. This one. Like so. There's going to be 5 screws for this one. Okay, now we can all snap it in place. So, I'm going to show you these grooves that I'm talking about on the screen, the plastic, the white, those slide into the phone like so, like this. Down like that, and they slide in that way. Okay, that's how you know the top's in. You can see it's all flush, so make sure that that's all the way in, and then you can start snapping each side down, which I do it a little gently too. Okay, there's that. Everything looks really nice and flush. Don't forget to sneeze. And then we will put in the bottom 2 pentalobe screws. And you're ready. So that's how you do an iPhone 6s Plus repair. Thumbs up, subscribe, do your thing.